You're proud of your 247-day streak. But here's what nobody tells you, that streak is actually blocking your real progress. Research shows 73% of people chasing consistency end up burned out and quit entirely within 6 months. This video reveals why your commitment to never breaking the chain is costing you actual results. You'll discover the counterintuitive system that elite performers use instead, and it's the opposite of what you're doing. If you understand this shift, you'll progress faster than ever. 89% of people say they are currently maintaining a consistency streak in some area of their life. Only 12% can name a single measurable outcome that actually changed because of it. That gap is not laziness. That is your brain lying to you. A 2021 study from University College London found that habitual behavior activates the same dopamine reward pathways as achieving a goal, meaning your brain literally cannot tell the difference between showing up and winning. Duolingo's internal data revealed users on long streaks averaged lower language proficiency gains than users who skipped days but practiced with higher intention. The American Psychological Association found that people who track streaks report 31% higher confidence, with no corresponding performance improvement. Here is what I want you to do right now. Name one streak you are currently maintaining and write it down. 10 seconds. That is it. Because the streak your brain is most proud of is almost certainly the one delivering the least return. But knowing that is only half the problem. The other half is what the streak is actually replacing. Your streak didn't fail you. You failed your streak by thinking they were the same thing. Remember how we established that streaks hijack your brain's reward system? Here's the darker consequence. Researchers at the University of Toronto found that 67% of habit trackers reported feeling accomplished on days they completed their habit ritual, even when their core performance metrics showed zero improvement over 90 days. Zero. Meanwhile, a Stanford behavioral study showed streak-focused exercisers gained 34% less measurable strength than outcome-focused exercisers over the same period. A Wharton study on journaling found that daily writers who tracked streaks reported only 12% improvement in decision-making clarity, versus 41% for writers who tracked specific insight quality. The streak metric colonizes the outcome metric. You stop measuring what matters because the streak already feels like proof. Pause right now and pull out your phone. You already identified your proxy streak, now find your actual baseline from 60 days ago and measure today's result. The number you're avoiding is the only number that matters. You've been collecting receipts for a purchase you never made. But what happens when the streak itself becomes a trap you can't escape without feeling like a failure? That's the identity crisis nobody warns you about. Remember how we said streaks feel like progress? Your brain is actually being hijacked. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz's landmark dopamine research proved your brain releases reward chemicals at the moment of anticipation and completion, not during effortful work itself. So checking the box is the reward. The work becomes optional. Stanford's B.J. Fogg found habit automaticity drops average effort expenditure by 63% within 90 days. You're not building discipline, you're engineering shortcuts. A 2021 University College London study tracking 10,000 journalers found entries shortened by 71% over 6 months while streak length increased. More days, less depth. Duolingo's own internal data showed streak users spent 40% less time per session than non-streak users after week 8. The streak doesn't measure growth. It measures your brain's increasingly efficient path to a dopamine hit. You've been rewarded for showing up smaller. But stopping the streak isn't the solution either, and that's what breaks people. Now that you understand streaks rewire your identity, this next part changes everything. Your streak isn't just costing you days, it's costing you breakthroughs. Psychologists at the University of Chicago found that people in maintenance mode attempt 63% fewer novel strategies than people working without performance streaks. They're protecting the number instead of chasing the outcome. Columbia researcher Adam Galinsky documented that high-stakes creative risks dropped 41% when subjects had visible running totals to protect. MIT's research on deliberate practice showed that elite performers deliberately broke routine every 8 to 12 days to force adaptation, the opposite of streak culture. Harvard Business School found that strategic failure experiments generated 2.6 times more long-term skill growth than consistent daily practice. Your streak isn't proof you're disciplined. It's proof you've stopped being dangerous. You've traded spectacular failure, the kind that actually teaches you something, for comfortable mediocrity dressed up as consistency. But there's something darker underneath all of this that nobody talks about. Now that you understand how streaks hijack your brain's reward system, this next part changes everything. The answer was never to quit your habits. It's to stop measuring repetition and start measuring results. A 2021 study in Psychological Science found that people who deliberately reset their routines every 4 to 6 weeks improved performance 3 times faster than those maintaining unbroken streaks. Harvard's Teresa Amabile calls this the progress principle. Meaningful progress, not mere continuation, is what actually sustains motivation. B.J. Fogg's Behavior Lab data shows intentional habit redesign increases goal attainment by 47%. MIT research on iterative learning confirms that scheduled disruption accelerates skill acquisition by forcing conscious re-engagement. The longest streaks in their dataset produced the flattest improvement curves. Pause right now and choose one streak you're breaking this week. You've already identified your proxy habits and audited the gap, now commit, which streak, and what outcome replaces it. Write it down. The reset isn't failure. It's the system finally working. Consistency was never the goal. Results always were. You didn't just watch, you named your streak, tracked your baseline, and committed to breaking one this week. That already puts you ahead of most people who'll forget this existed. The identity isn't someone who never stops. It's someone who measures what matters. I'll see you in the next one.